Siguro po yung pinaka-pressure ako yung wala po si Asedia.
Extra kill. Here comes Bam from the mid-lane. Teleport does succeed. Asedia is there, but he gets charmed.
Kulang po talaga yung namin, yung play namin. Tsaka po nagkalubihan po sa mga champions.
Just caught him off. Asedia just get back there, and that would be a double.
Tingin ka rin naman, hindi naman talaga sobrang lakas talaga.
That is going to be the game. Ladies and gents, we're heading into a game 5. University of the Cordillera, Seal Game 4.
That is a very convincing.
Hindi namin minamaliit lahat ng nakakalaban namin team. Binibigay namin lahat ng best namin.
And guys, I think we have our finalist for the LCL.
Our first finalist.
Wow. What again was the first match?
And
This is just the first.
para sa team ko, tamang shot calls lang and team play.
Good afternoon, Summoners. This is it. All roads finally meet here at the Grand Finals of the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know for the best of 5 series for Game 1. I'll be your shoutcaster. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is Atlas.
It's been a long road getting here to the finals. Like, imagine from the format of the LCL we have for this term, it's been so grueling for every single team, and as well as the management and the organizations. Like, from 48 teams, like we had looking at the format, from 48 teams, actually no, from the qualifiers, we have over 150 teams. That's how bloody it was.
Yeah, if we all set it back from not the official stages, but the qualifiers itself.
150 teams. And then we're starting into the actual streamed matches. That's going to be 48 teams. Like from each conference, it's going to total up to 48 teams. And then we take 3 from each Luzon conference, and then 2 from the Visayas and Mindanao conferences. It's going to be, that was 16 teams. And then we narrowed down into semifinals, 4 teams. And now, all of those bloody wars, battles, converge into these finals for 2 teams between UP and TUP. Look at this. Like from 48 teams, it's like King of the Hill. King of the Hill, battle of the strongest, dog eat dog. Really. And narrowing it down to 16 teams, and then even further into 4 teams, and now into 2 teams. As I said, it's been incredibly bloody.
It's been a long journey, a really long road that these teams walked, and finally ends here at the Grand Finals. These aren't just 48 teams, Atlas. These are 48 campuses all around the Philippines. This is not just one school cannot have 2 teams or 3 teams. Each school from the entire Philippines, from 48 down to 2 for the spot, and going into Malaysia and China for the LICC, which is a huge honor actually for the semi-pro league players.
Yeah, the League of Legends International Collegiate Championship in 2017 is going to be intense, having all of these international teams coming from a lot of universities from around the world. So it's going to be a huge honor for which team is going to that stage. But of course, for these 2 teams, as I said, the journey has been long. Their journey has been longest out of anyone because they were the ones that survived. For TUP, as the video said, they can falter a lot. Like, they also fear not having Acedia around, but they have proven that even without Acedia or with Acedia, they can pull themselves together. They can pull out a good performance and wreck the competition. So that's like the mark of a great team. It's like no matter who your top laner is, having Acedia around does enhance their performance, but as a team, they still have that team play, and just having Acedia around just makes it even better.
If we observed in the group stages where there are games where Acedia did not play, those games, they were most likely losses, because when Acedia plays, almost they are sure win for that. But no, the really interesting moments in the group stages was the reverse sweep that we saw in between UC. The reverse sweep sa semifinals, those are UC and then TUP, which was very interesting to see.
It was quite a very back and forth series.
Almost a reverse sweep, and TUP was having their backs against the wall.
As for UP, they were supposed to be like undefeated throughout the entire LCL, but they had one loss against JBL, which proves that even a team like this can bleed, that they can fall down. They can fall down from their ivory towers. And if TUP can actually play it right from the drafting into the macro play, because that's what UPD is known for, the drafting and the macro play. If they can take those out from UPD, they'll have a really good chance of winning. So let's get into the drafting phase now between UPD, Oblation Esports, and TUP. Sick Parvis Magna. Small things come from great things. Rather, great things come from small things, rather.
Baliktad.
Yeah, baliktad. But here, let's get into it. Lulu ban immediately and Ari ban against Bomb. We've seen that when Bomb gets a pick that he's comfortable with, like Ari, he just wrecks face. And banning that out is really good for UPD. As for TUP,
Respecting the Fiora.
yeah, respecting the Fiora from Iconic. Iconic is known to play these carry top laners. When he's on these tank top laners, UPD loses.
Yeah,
They had one loss against JBL.
Yeah, recalling the semifinals between JBL. There was one game that UPD actually played the Sejuani top that we've seen in the PGS. It did not work that well for UPD because Iconic's playstyle is not really centered around the tank.
Yeah.
So this is something that JBL caught off, or maybe this is something that TUP might use against them.
And the Rakan ban, the respect ban against Neep. The Rakan is definitely scary. In the semifinal series, it was banned a lot against him. As for Bomb, it is going to be a Vladimir ban against him. And just banning off Vladimir is definitely very good, just in general. Zazak as well is something that is just, in general, very useful.
Yeah, I recall one game where, during the semifinals of JBL, I'll actually play the Vladimir very effectively, very scary. This is just the potential that what a Vladimir can do.
Yeah, and Berserk really had a hard time against that Vladimir. Veer as well. Very difficult to gank a Vladimir with the safety that Sanguine Pool can give them. So that is going to be the bans we have for the first phase of the banning phase. Seems like they're prioritizing the Elise here. We have seen Veer's Elise a lot. Very high pressure early game.
High pressure and high spec rate for Veer.
Yeah.
If you see a ban on the Zac or any type of jungle, let's say Elise or Kha'Zix, expect that Veer will always pick up an Elise.
Definitely, because it's very high pressure. The damage spike early is also great. You have two ways of dealing damage. One is to will them down. The other to just execute them with a Venom Spike.
The finishers.
Yes, the finishers. So it's very versatile as a jungler, and the pathing that she can have is definitely very versatile. As for TUP, they are prioritizing Navi's Caitlyn here, very safe in lane. And this is interesting. It's going to be Chan, likely Chan, on the Rek'Sai, the new Rek'Sai. It is enabled for this finals.
And also, I heard from the recent patch notes that the Rek'Sai's ultimate has been tweaked in a way that really catches the person off guard.
Because in 7.11, Rek'Sai absolutely sucked. She dealt a lot of damage, but the execution of the ultimate
was really off.
Is really off because in 7.12, they didn't change the damage. They just made it so it's not as easily dodgeable. Because in 7.12, you can just walk left or right, and then you would dodge the ultimate. But with 7.12, that's no longer possible. You have to tumble, you have to dash, flash out, or have really high move speed, like from a Karma Shield. So that's going to be the change for Rek'Sai, and I think it really pushes her into a usable level. Because in 7.11, she was absolutely bad. Here in UPD, their last two picks for the first rotation of the big phase is going to be the Varus for Blizzard, as well as the Neep Zyra, already putting out their bot lane in the open. So TUP responds by putting out their bot lane as well, locking in their support.
It's actually a nice pickup for UPD, knowing that from the interview reels we've been seeing so far, that Blizzard and Neep's combo in the bottom lane requires Neep to actually dish out the damage, or he will be the one to roam around the map, leaving Blizzard alone, because as Neep said, majority of the time they might lose the bot lane, so Neep will be forced to roam, and since Blizzard is very obedient, this is something that it's actually a good pickup.
But if Blizzard does pick up the Varus, it's like the Caitlyn has been taken away from him and he's not using the Xayah. So that's like a breath of fresh air for the UPD bot lane. And having this, the semi-final series actually proves that, yes, Blizzard is still very safe, still very proficient in the AD carry role, and can actually pull things out. As for TUP, let's look at their bans. Banning out the LeBlanc from Berserk, as well as the Rise. A lot of these mid-lane bans. Look at these mid-lane bans. Throughout this drafting phase, we have 6 mid-lane bans. 2 against Berserk, 4 against Bomb. The respect, the Syndra is banned out, the Cass is banned out as well.
Yeah, Ari also, despite the nerfs in the scaling, so UPD doing their homework, but for TUP, they will still have the safety of that Orianna was left.
Lots of utility.
So for the UPD side, I wonder what mid laner they can pick up. Maybe what's remaining could be not an AP base or an AP base.
It could be. This is really nice. This could be the mid Lucian coming from Berserk. Because I don't think Varus mid is a thing anymore. That was like last season. Now I think mid Lucian is the thing for AD carries in the mid.
It's the next big thing in the meta.
Definitely, I do think that it's a very good pickup because you know LeBlanc is banned out, Syndra is banned out, and Bomb picked up the Orianna. This definitely leaves UPD open to pick the mid Lucian. Because mid Lucian is a tech pick, you know? You can't just pick it, first pick it. You can't just pick it blind. Because the LeBlanc, the Syndras will absolutely destroy you. The Vladimirs as well. But the Orianna is a little bit more workable. So this is actually a lot of damage coming from UPD squad. Just the rumble for the top lane as well, being responded to by a Cedius Kled. I'm excited to see this matchup.
Against a rumble. And to add to what you were going to say on the Lucian mid, I think I gotta disagree on that. It's not the fact that it's actually a good technical pick, but I think Orianna is gonna have a hell time in the mid lane because just the shield and the mobility from the zone is good enough, but against the Lucian,
there's a lot of sustained damage coming from that.
You're pretty much dead in the lane.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a good pick. But yeah, looking at these two compositions, UPD has a ton of damage. Their top laner is damaged, their jungler is damaged, their support is damaged.
Who's the tank?
It seems like no one is going to be the tank. The closest
thing
they can have a tank for is if Fear goes for the tanky Elise path, as well as Iconic can probably go for a little AP bruiserish type of build. But it seems like this, they're just gonna explode in the team fights. Whether it's a good explosion for them or a bad one, it's going to depend on how they pull the trigger. And TUP seems to have a little more balanced team composition.
Yeah, from the Kled and the Rek'Sai is actually a nice backup in terms of engage. TUP has very powerful tools, whereas UPD, they mostly rely on pickups.
Yeah.
Outzone enemies and really
Got
enemies who are isolated.
Yeah, got a good cocoon, got a good root as well. So it's definitely very, very scary if you get caught up by UPD. But TUP as well is very scary with a huge engage, like charge in with a Kled and then follow it up with a shockwave. It's great. As well as they have enough damage from their front line as well. So TUP very scary, a little bit more balanced, but still very scary. But of course, after all of that, we're going to see how our teams prepared for this match and see the thoughts on their matchups. Coming to a little video for you guys after drafting.
Siguro po yung pinaka-pressure ko yung wala po si Asedia.
Extra kill. Here comes Bam from the mid lane. Teleport does succeed. Asedia is there, but he gets charmed.
Kulang po talaga yung namin, yung play namin. Tsaka po nagkalubihan po sa mga champions.
Just caught him off. Asedia just gets back there. That would be a double.
Tingin ka rin naman, hindi naman talaga sobrang lakas talaga.
That is going to be the game. Ladies and gents, we're heading into a game 5. University of the Cordillera. Seal game 4.
That is a very convincing.
Hindi namin minamaliit lahat ng nakakalaban namin team. Binibigay namin lahat ng best namin.
And guys, I think we have our finalist for the LCL.
Our first finalist.
Wow. What again was the first match? And this is just the first.
Para sa team ko, tamang shot calls lang and team play.
Now we are live on the Rift after that really good video of TUP's modest side and being humble entering the grand finals of the LCL.
We see their falters, their failings in the group stages and the interconference, but then they recover and get a really good win against UC, making it here to the finals. We're going to see how it all plays out here in the finals. Iconic bring out the Dawn Bringer emote.
The grand finals of the LCL.
It's definitely going to be very exciting to see.
Who will represent the Philippines in the LICC? Let us see right now in the first game of UPD Oblation Esports on the blue side against TUP's Sig Parvis Magna on the red side.
Yeah, and TUP might falter a lot to coming to this stage, but they have proven that yes, great things come from small beginnings. That is like the poetic way to word Sig Parvis Magna in English. And we're gonna see how that plays out. I really like how they're playing. It's nothing too risky, going for just the lines of scrimmage in their level 1s, not going for anything that's too crazy. It's definitely something you would expect from this level of play.
Well, sometimes we see when it's the first game, teams right now, they're a bit more relaxed. The nerve is not yet there yet because this is the best of 5 series, best of endurance, and your ability to really stay in the game for most likely, if ever TUP and UPDs are evenly matched, maybe until game 4 or game 5. 4 hours of constant playing and strategizing, they have to be ready.
It's definitely a test of endurance. We've seen a lot of teams falter in the best of 5s. Just they run out of steam and let the opposition just take them out while they're down. We're going to see how both of these teams really stretch out their energy for this best of 5 series. Coming to this level 1, however, the jungle paths, they're really going to focus around the mid lane or the top lane. Most likely the top lane, because their pathing comes from the bot side. And while the Raptor start is a lot more versatile for Veer, I think it really gravitates towards the top side.
But I have to agree on the Veer's pathing. See, this is what I was talking about, the Orianna being not mobile enough against Lucian. So, if ever UPD gets the first blood on Berserk, that would be a start for a nightmare for TUP. Knowing that Orianna scales quite slow when it comes to the mid
compared
to late
to other mid laners, Orianna just needs a little bit time to rev up the clockwork. So the support from Chan will definitely be important. It's actually going to happen here, pathing or behind Berserk if you look at the minimap. But Veer here comes for a gank for the top lane.
Yeah, Veer though, making his slow approach, flashing by Iconic. Repel is not available. He was in spider form.
Has to go for that. Does burn the flash on Acedia, but Iconic as well burns it. So it's 2 flashes for 1. I don't think it's very worth it for UPD, especially since the Cocoon Flash is a powerful tool for ganking for Veer, and now he's lost it trying to put down Acedia. This might be opportunity cost for UPD that they're willing to take, but it's a huge tool taken away from that Elise.
And we also see how Veer always, almost majority of the game, he ganks the top lane first, then goes to the mid lane. There is a pattern that he sticks to, but right now Chan
just shows himself. A little bit of pressure, making sure Iconic cannot be too relaxed in that lane.
Knowing that the flash is down for Iconic, Chan made the right move just to apply pressure, but in the mid lane though, Baam, heavy lockdown and Ignite being burnt onto him, so no kills yet so far, but the pressure that Veer is delivering, and sometimes he always gets the first blood.
Here, it seems like TUP a little bit more survivable. Kled is one of the more survivable top laners. Bomb on that Orianna as well. Can survive against these ganks. So that's still par for the course here for both of these teams. And really, the thing that both of these teams are playing it, like UPD is playing it very aggressively from the jungle side, while TUP is a little bit more laid back in the sense that they're not going for anything too crazy. And it's really paying off for them not being first blooded by Veer.
And also for TUPs, they did spot Veer on the Tribrush, so they know his pathing so far. Not going to be expecting any crazy ganks yet. The summoners are down. It's up to the laners to take how it'll turn out, but he takes huge punishments from that really long bind.
Yeah, the bind plus laying down the trap from Navi with a free headshot that's given by that. It's definitely great. Sean going for a gank here in the top lane.
No flash for Iconic. Let's see how he makes it out alive here. He's on red bar. Silence cannot skill it that much. Acedia is going to get Scarl back. He does get Scarl. And also the first blood of the game.
Oh boy. Acedia getting first blood. That is going to be scary for UPD. And it's great for TUP, seeing as most of their games really hinge around Acedia being far ahead.
And Iconic, after that huge mistake, giving a first blood to Acedia, responds to by picking up 2 cloth armors and a ruby crystal.
Wow, he's really going for the defensive route here. Probably going for the Ninja Tabi as an early item, plus building into more of these defensive AP items.
He could be going for the Zhonya's Hourglass if he chooses to, but a Ninja Tabi would be a more efficient pickup, knowing that Kled is really heavily focused on basic attacking, especially his violent tendencies.
And blocking out a lot of that damage by percentage is going to be huge. So Iconic has to TP back to lane. Both of these top laners actually do. We'll see how he recovers from that. He is 2 waves behind Acedia.
This is the start.
And he's going to get pushed in, definitely. Seeing how Acedia already has a Tiamat.
Oh,
Man.
that's just bad news. Also for Chad, he did pick up also Tiamat from that assist. So he's pretty happy with that. So the clear coming from that Rek'Sai will be something you have to watch out for. And also the fact that Chan
Oh, I think they might meet each other here. Okay, they just pull off. There's no vision then that bot side. They don't want to risk running into Chan. It's gonna be a reset here. Just a little bit of relaxed time. I think UPDD has an idea.
Chan making its way in. Flash both burned by team. The root does connect onto me, forcing out his flash, but Ignite's being used by Misa N. Chan is very low, just backing away slowly.
Reflexes coming from Blizzard there. Surprisingly good. Immediately dodging out from the Unburrow. Still though, Neep very, very low. And
Close
that's
call.
both summer spells burned on the side of Blizzard.
That's
So
terrible.
Navi has an advantage.
Flash
Still,
and a heal.
yeah, still, they cannot get overconfident. They do have a huge summer spell advantage, but Neep still has Ignite, and he's on a Zyra. So if either Misa N or Navi get caught, it's going to be a nightmare of damage. Still though,
I think the nightmare will begin for Blizzard. Knowing that
Yeah.
Navi is pushing him under the turret, and this is the start of those traps setting in.
just preventing a lot of movement there in the bot lane. And Misa N, since the grasping roots coming from Neep are a bit slow, there's enough time for Misa N to respond with the Black Shield.
Oh, a mistake by Chan for showing himself too early. Gets stunned, but the shockwave will not hit anyone. Berserk gets a really easy kill from a basic mistake coming from Chan.
Gets caught out, tries to trade a little bit with Berserk, but he's dealing a lot of damage, even with just a Vamp Scepter. And that relentless pursuit to really get an escape from that shockwave, that was gangster.
You were talking about Illusion Pin, and you show yourself half health, expect that you're gonna die. And that is such a basic mistake you don't expect coming into the grand finals.
And that's another thing that that Orianna is weak to this Lucian bit, is because he can just dash out of the shockwave range very quickly.
And now he has a blue buff and
Oh man.
a first kill.
And he's ahead in terms of the CS as well. He has been building this up since level 1. So the disparity in the top lane is made up for in the disparity in the mid lane. But this is Acedia we're talking about. And he still has a Tiamat. He's still going to push Iconic in. Still very scary. And Veer has to pay attention to that. Because I think UPD's bot lane is very self-sufficient. While TUP, Chan, can leave Navi and Misa N alone. Because that's also a very safe lane.
This is bad trouble for Bam, actually. I mean, Berserk gets his first kill, 1-0-0, and a CS lead of 84-69. This is actually going to be an avalanche for Bam. He's going to be falling off faster if he does not step up his game.
Acedia might get baited.
Veer has his flash though. The Baboon will connect and he will follow it up. But Acedia is very low. The equalizer will slow him down. Trying to get stalled back will not help. And Veer goes for the tower dive, securing a kill and an assist for Iconic.
At least one of those better tower divers, being able to rappel out. It resets the tower aggro. There it didn't reset because he was the only target, but that gives him a little bit more time to recover HP from the refillable potion, all of that stuff. Definitely a good way to pressure Acedia. Actually getting a kill onto Veer means that he will have a little bit more damage for these ganks.
And when he builds damage, when he ganks with that kind of burst, it will almost be 100%. So this will help UPDD get back stronger and also scale up faster, especially Berserk on Illusion. When it comes to the late game, I think Berserk is on a ticking time, because when a clash-oriented team fight happens, he will not contribute that much compared to Bam with the Orianna and the Shockwave, and also for Chan with those
That's
burrows.
true. The mid game will really be the spike of UPD. As for TUP, they can afford to be a little bit more defensive. As long as they're not dying too much and forcing themselves in a super defensive position, they can survive. Here comes Chan.
Berserk does not have flash, but he does have the reliance, so he is going all in. Berserk is very low, but he still managed to burn the summoners of Bam, but it'll be Chan to finish him off in the mid lane.
Looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1 across the map. Blizzard goes down. Navi gets the kill, actually, which is good for TUP. The end. TUP with a small gold lead. Charge actually gets burned there in the top lane. Misses Iconic.
Iconic gets caught by the bear trap, and here comes Chan for the respawn. Iconic does not have his flash, so he's pretty much a dead man if there is no help. That would be a kill for Acidia. 2-1-0. Closer step to the Black Cleaver.
1-0 indeed. And having that Tiamat definitely means he can shove this lane and slam it to the turret, so Iconic misses a lot of CS. And he definitely does not want to use teleport yet at this stage of the game. Usually the first teleport you use it to get back to lane, but this time, 11 minutes into the game, it might be more important to keep that teleport for a future fight in the bot lane.
I wonder though, if he does keep that teleport, he will be spending a lot of time walking and burning up CS under the first wave.
Yeah, and that's good. It's just going to extend Acedia's gold lead by a lot. The CS disparity is going to be great for TUP.
So now we're seeing Iconic really going for that Arm Seeker's guard for the Zonia's Hourglass, really delaying the damage for the Rumble when you normally pick up the Hunting guys first, then move on to the Leandro Stormman.
Yeah, the Seeker's Arm Guard definitely helps out. It gives you armor per CS, so it's really great to stack up against Acedia, and it's gonna help him survive a lot longer. The thing with UPD is that both of their solo laners which are behind can still operate without gold. Baam more so, because the knockup you get from Shockwave doesn't change if you have low gold. Of course, the damage gets taken out, but still. As for Iconic, the overtime damage does get lowered, but the slow is still there for the equalizer even when he's behind. That's the caveat for the leads that both of these teams have in their solo lanes, that the opposing laner can still function decently without gold.
A low economy based champion is something really advantageous when you come into play to the late game, because when you're very behind and you give all the kills to your teammate, you still have this value coming to a team fight, and I think that's a very powerful tool that any team can use. But onto the objective side, UPD managed to secure the Cloud Drake. This will help their rotations even more, especially for Veer.
For macro-oriented teams, usually the Cloud Drake doesn't have a lot of control.
Oh, CT locked up for Navi. He does flash away. Lisa N will just be chugging on a potion. And Veer really dishing out the pressure around the map is something that you expect from his playstyle.
Yeah, the trade-off for this though is that Chan has a lot more time to CS on his own, clear his camps, as well as counter jungle Veer. We saw him putting down some vision in the top side jungle of Veer, as well as taking out some
Oh no,
so
here comes the
dive.
power dive and a flash burnt by Neek. He was tagging the turret. Lisa N also wasting his flash, leaving Blizzard for the kill for Chad. And now Veer is taking 2 hits and a response from the top lane. Acedia manages to pick him off. Bam burns his ghost but gets rooted by Neep. A very easy kill for the mid laner.
Very good juggling of the tower aggro from UPD, but in the end, because of the response from Acedia and Chan, it's like Blizzard has no chance of escaping from that. It's between a rock and a hard place there. So definitely 2 for 2, worth it. I think it's more worth it for UPD because they burned less resources. The TP is a huge resource.
And now they're pushing turrets.
Yeah, they pushed turrets because Baam did die from Berserk, as well as Neep doing a drive-by route on him. That does put him a little bit more ahead.
But Chad still committing towards Berserk.
He can finish off Berserk with the ultimate.
Oh, here it comes.
Can he be out of it?
Oh, he cannot dash out of it, but Acedia is going to be not there for the assist, but it would be Chad really doing all the work for you.
Let's break that down. Look at this really good juggling of tower aggro. Neep stands around the area and then flashes out of the tether of the Soul Shackles. And here UPD Blizzard just walks out like 2 or 3 units out of tower range, which lets Veer finish off the kill. But after that, this is inevitable. They die from the response of the TP coming from Acedia. And here Berserk just gets a good kill onto Bomb after a drive-by grasping blues.
Blizzard is left alone in the lane, but
that was absolutely dead.
Yeah.
Acedia was responding and Chan was closing in as well.
He saw that he was left alone in that replay where Neek just flashed out, but Blizzard was still there. But on the blue side of UPD,
Really contesting this. This is 3v2. They have to give this up.
Give it up for the blue buff to TUP, while Iconic still has to catch up for itemization. He does have the Zonia's Hourglass for let's see. 15 minutes into the game with a CS of 106. He is still not getting out of it.
Ooh, the chains of corruption from Blizzard missed completely. Out of range. So that's one big tool for Engage that UPD no longer has. The Stranglethorns is still there. The Grasping Roots are always going to be off cooldown for an important fight. But that's still a huge tool unavailable for UPD in the bot lane. Sean might go for something here in the mid though.
Berserk going in, but it will be a shockwave landing onto Veer, and now Chan is going to tank it all up. He is using so much damage. The execution from the Elite Spider form is too much.
I think it was a mistake to use a shockwave onto Veer there, because that means Berserk is still open to dash around and get his DPS out. I think if he saved the shockwave for a little bit longer, he would have gotten a kill or two from this mid lane. Acedia going for the charge.
Charging in, but Veer repels away, countering that charge, but it would be Veer eating up the bear trap on a row. Berserk does not have mana, but a teleport will scare TUP away.
Iconic. Just in time to really scare them off. And clear the wave actually. They are going for the first turret of the game with this play.
Decisive decision.
Even Meep is around here just to help them out.
The first turret.
It's very risky though.
Very low, Acedia.
Acedia alone.
Then he's locked down and now forced out of his Scarl and out of over the wall.
Being isolated from the rest of his team, definitely hurting TUP, but now with Navi around, this leaves Blizzard a lot of alone time there for the bot lane. Will they race for the turrets? This mid lane turret is still very healthy for UPD. They just have to shove the wave in and then respond back. Blizzard seems to take a hint and is going to back off just in time so they don't get two-manned by Nissan and Navi.
This is the result of the UP rushing their itemization towards more offensive side, where the clashers, the engagers like Acedia and Chan, they're not durable enough to stay long in the team fight. So they have this awkward phase where they have to leave the carries, the very squishy targets alone. And that's how UPD thrives in, where we see an Elise, a Rumble, and a Lucian who can bypass all of those.
Yeah, they're really playing to their win conditions, their priorities as well as the objectives. That play, it's like as soon as they saw Acedia separated from the rest of his team, immediately went on him and chunked him down. But of course, since Navi was coming to the mid lane, that left TUP with enough time to recuperate from that and still not give up the first turret of the game, which is great for them. Keeps the gold still very even with TUP in a very small 1,300 lead.
And that's what happens when you're not durable enough, especially when you charge in. And that's really bad for TUP. When they engage, they can't survive. UPD will chase them down. They can't run away that effectively. There's a Zyra, there is a Lucian, so that's going to be bad news. But the turret in the mid lane is very low.
UPD is just waiting for an opportunity to get a few pot shots at that turret and then take it out. Clouddrake will spawn. As I said, not a huge priority, but when it comes to these high-level teams, the 15 move speed you get from each stack of Clouddrake could actually be huge.
Here comes Acedia. Whoa, I think that was a charge not needed, but here's a flash from me. Blocking down Navi will be Blizzard, grabbing the kill.
As soon as Misian leaves Navi alone, Neep and Blizzard gang up on Navi.
So that's one member down and one ultimate gone for TUP.
That's the damage you get from the support Zyra. Because even combine it with the stacks, the blight stacks from Blizzard that get popped by any of these spells, it's a huge burst of damage. And Navi,
flash in from Misa, and for that ultimate, Chan will try to kick him down, but it will be the support getting the kill instead, while leaving B to back away. But in the mid lane, UPD managed to get the first turret of the game, maybe going for another one here, missing his cocoon. There is the weave here for UPD, whereas TUP has to wait and take their revenge slowly.
They do have a few more tools. Misian looking for something here in the bot side. I think he's expecting UPD to go for the turret.
Oh, missing the Dark Bind.
There's no one here to follow up if ever he does get the Dark Binding. Another Clouddrake.
That's a second Clouddrake for UPD. More movement speed out of combat will really benefit the playstyle of these two teams who have really superior macro play.
Yeah, the rotations are everything. And UPD, because they got two stacks of the Clouddrake. I know a lot of people put down Clouddrake. Poor Drake, that's racist. And how people call it the Clown Drake. because it's true. The movement speed doesn't have a lot of impact compared to what 10% bonus 2 damage against objectives, 8% bonus AD and AP, and even the regeneration. The 15 move speed is definitely small, but when you stack it up like that, 30 move speed outside of combat is actually pretty big. It's like equivalent to the bonus of Moby Boots. So that's how big it is once you get 2 stacks. But 1 stack, it's not too much. But here, it can actually make an impact to when Veer rotates.
And you can see that he's still rotating towards the bottom lane. Once he plays, he gets through down. Chan goes in for the knockout. Neeb is very low. He gets taken out by Chow. But here comes Blizzard for the free hit and Veer for the cocoon inside the territory. UPD Blizzard will be securing the kill. Navi gets a headshot with the trap, but it will be no kill for him.
2 for 1. Veer. Okay, that almost missing the block there, but I don't think it would have killed. Still though, 2 for 1 with a great gank coming from Chan. But even though it was pretty much a 2v3 in the end, yeah, even though it was a 2v3, almost at the start, the damage that Neeb can pull out even when he's dying allows Veer to get the finisher, allows Blizzard to get 1 final kill onto Chan as well, and Navi cannot get any more free hits here.
And I think Chan made a technical mistake there, blurring back inside where he was supposed to tunnel out, but
I think though, even if he tunneled out, Blizzard actually gets a kill onto Navi.
And Acidia from the backline teleports in, does not spot Blizzard yet. Here comes Neeb. Let's see, plans placed down. Acidia
He can no longer chase. After the charge, he no longer has any chase potential when Blizzard is already that far.
And also they have out-of-combat movement speed, makes it harder even more for Acidia.
And this leaves the top lane open for UPD to get another turret. The gold lead is still relatively small at 22 minutes. When 2k, that's still very small. When you divide it amongst 5 members, it's not that big at this point of the game. Still though, more map control for UPD.
More objectives control too.
Yeah. Having that, top lane and mid lane shut down, plus the bot lane being so low, it leaves him open to do a lot more rotation. It makes TUP's jungle a little bit scarier, but still, they need vision to actually take advantage of that. And because if they leave themselves open to Chan and Acidia, that's a dead UPD. But they have to respect the damage that could come from UPD. We've seen that even with TUP getting the initiative in the gank there in the bot lane, Neeb's damage just phenomenal, being able to just destroy anyone that gets in the way.
This is what I was talking about, man. I mean, you may start the clash, but when you're not durable enough to tank the hits for your team, it's going to leave, let's say, Navi and also Bab a very hard position where they can't even kite or even get out of team fights. These are low mobility champions, whereas Acidia and Chan, they're high mobility. They can go in and out as they please, but the fact that they're actually baiting their own teammates into a team fight is something bad for TUP.
Definitely, because UPD just wants to rush them down with damage. And the thing with TUP's compositions, yes, Acidia can still rush out of the fight, Chan as well. But the fact that once they charge in, they have to go through the Neeb's damage, as well as the rest of UPD. They are in a tough spot at this point of the game. But when it comes to late game, they might have a more solid front line, which is like the selling point.
Oh, Neeb face checks, sees Chan, and he is very low, gets rooted down. Miss it and manages to land the Dark Bite, but there will be no follow-up. And there is the Equalizer to torch the members of TUP, punishing them for even trying to get a cheese onto Neeb.
Yeah, Neeb definitely very scary face checking there, but survives with a flash and actually roots Chan away from him.
UPD playing the macro game, just taking down turrets. They don't even need to start a team fight if they please. I mean, they can just take down the turrets as they please. They have to wave clear, and the power from Berserk on the calling is just enough.
And look at the gold lead on the mid lane. The 280 carries for this team above its counterparts is definitely huge. The biggest caveat here is that Blizzard is way ahead of Navi, which means that even with the safety that Caitlyn provides, it won't be dealing enough damage compared to Blizzard to be relevant at this point of the game. Because Navi, if he gets the chance to ramp up and get a few revenge kills and be able to freely farm a little bit more, it's going to be a scary, scary Caitlyn. But at this point of the game, as I said, mid-game is the powerful spike of UPD, and they're taking advantage of it fully. But they have a soft timing, a very soft timing.
When it comes to the late game, it would be Baab stepping up, team is City and Chan, and also Navi. But for Blizzard as a virus, can he contribute that much when it comes to a late game? He has the runas and the piercing arrow, but
The important thing is the
damage.
Chains of Corruption. The Chains of Corruption combined with the rest of UPD kits can make for a very powerful counter stage.
Oh, here it comes!
man.
Iconic trying to buy some time, but still gets taken out by
damage.
BAM! Here it is. Fear is really taking a lot of heat, but Blizzard manages to get him off guard. Chan! Don't know why he was there, but he's sightseeing.
Yeah, 1-for-1 though, actually in favor of UPD because they have a huge top lane wave pushing. So this is a natural transition from a mid lane fight, which is a 1-for-1, but because the top lane turret was more vulnerable for the TUP, it's more worth it for UPD. And now they have a little bit of vision control here in the top side.
No, Chan to back away from that. BAM is actually delivering the damage so far when you're entering the 26-minute
See how
mark.
much damage he did against Berserk
Yeah,
there.
it's almost an instant.
He's catching up. He's catching up.
So this is a good thing for TUP. They're catching up in damage, in itemization, whereas UPD, they are already at their peak.
This
The
Infernal
mid-game.
Drake could make things
Oh
a little bit
boy.
harder, turn up the heat of this battle.
Extending the time that UPD has to work with, this
Yeah.
is going to be
The
big.
thing is, the time limit that we talked about is a very soft time limit. It means TUP can actually fight on equal footing with UPD, but it's still not going to mean that TUP will absolutely wreck them
Oh,
once
no,
late
no,
game
no.
comes. Because UPD has tons of damage, and the fact that they don't have a solid, very solid frontliner isn't really super relevant if they can just rush you down and kill you before that happens.
Yes, the soft time limit is just how UPD has this good lead. And this is something that's showing right now with the portrait scores. Wow. But here, that's the stun and then equalizes percent, and the shockwave will knock them
Shockwave.
down. The 90 engage, but Blizzard's free hitting. He can do as he pleases. Asinia is very low. If he gets dismounted, it will be big trouble. But Neve gets Navi off guard with the Baron triple for a flash in. Piercing arrow makes that a quadra.
Quadra kill and the Dawnbringer emote for both of the solo laners, or rather for the AD carry and the top lane here. Actually, they get the mid lane turret, extending their gold lead to 6,000 gold.
Berserk was left to free hit as he please. Stacking up those blights is really rewarding.
Now let's break that down. I really like how earlier the Fear goes for the cocoon after the Proto Belt. Proto Belt is such a good item on Elise because it gives her an extra boost in movement where she can position for a cocoon, and that's what started the rest of this fight. The rest of the fight is sort of self-explanatory. They go for a lot of damage, but because Blizzard and Berserk were free hitting, they got the fight out. And Neep got a really good root as well at the backside of that fight, which allowed for an extra kill for UPD.
That's the advantage of having a rune and Hurricane.
Yeah,
we
just
see
being
that.
able to AoE.
Yeah, we see that Navi, he just picked up a static shift, not get the runes. In terms of damage output, UPD will always win unless Navi
Fear gets
Nah.
knocked away with a blast kill.
unless Navi picks up the runes Hurricane too, but he just picked up the static
Yeah, because
shift.
the thing is, Runon's Hurricane is no longer a go-to item for Caitlyn.
they're
Because
reaching
she no longer
changes.
stacks headshots with Runon, so the static shift is now her go-to AoE item.
That's a lot of damage removed from her.
Yeah, that's a huge nerf. And because Blizzard has the Runon, he can also stack the Blight stacks much faster in team fights. And now look at Iconic.
Iconic paying back the price. Oh, but we got Cydia getting Scarl back, baiting out Iconic's revenge. He is still not yet close, but now in the Baron Pit, it starts right now. The first Baron of the game goes to UPD, and the fight breaks out in Baron Pit. Veer is
TP.
just blocking down Chad, and a TP is being where? I don't think so. I
No,
don't
it's
see
not
any
yet.
TPs yet.
Acedia had TP that fight, which should have been deadly for UPD, but
But-
seems like,
It was very low.
yeah, very low. Had to recover a lot of health. Seems like TUP did not pull the trigger there. Now UPD has a huge sieging tool.
They have the Baron. This makes the TUP even harder for them to push. Especially the changes to Runan's Hurricane. So this Caitlyn now is more of a single target oriented duelist in a sense. Also pushing power. He does have the pushing power.
The
because
static
of the
shift still clears waves very well. So
But
that she's still able to do that.
It's
But
the AoE damage you're looking for.
yeah, and Static does have a little bit of that AoE burst, but the Runans, with losing the Runans and being forced into the static itemization is so bad for these Caitlyn players. It is a reasonable nerf. It was a reasonable nerf. Because stacking headshots when you're doing like machine gun play, I don't think that's sensible.
So leave it to Blizzard to pick up the Road Hurricane, and I think we're going to play the Road King. So that's why
Attack speed.
so much damage.
Because the light stacks do deal a lot of magic damage as well, so it's still hard for TUP to itemize defensively against this.
Where is the defensive itemization though coming from TUP? I
Most
don't
is
see
GA and the Deadman's Plate, but that's still semi-offensive.
semi-offensive, more of a off-track bruiser. Not something you would see maybe an Omen or a Frozen Heart to remove those attack speeds.
The thing is, though, that UPD is still at their peak of power in terms of composition. Now they are 8,000 gold ahead of TUP, and this just extends the time where they can constantly go in even more.
And the next trick will be Infernal. If they get a second stack on that, TUP's chances of winning this game is getting smaller.
The thing is, though, UPD, as I said earlier, just from the drafting days, they have an explosive composition, but it can also blow up in their faces. If Acedia gets a good flanking charge that can immediately go onto Berserk or especially Blizzard, the chances of actually taking them out are much better. And if Chan can also get himself in a position where he can really hit the carries of UPD and then finish them off with a Void Rush, that could be very good for TUP. But at this point of the game, it's still very difficult because of how the game played out. The itemization, now they're behind. And it's manifesting in UPD being so confident going for these wave clears coming into the mid-game push.
They can, I mean, look at the KD of Blizzard, 11-3-3 with a gold lead of, let's say,
5,000.
14,000 compared to closing up to 10,000. That's almost one crucial item for a Canadian that needs to match that damage.
Yeah, that's like
One
a
key
4,500 gold lead. That's one. You can build any ABC.
Oh,
Neat. Wow.
Make a risky play of flashing it does work out. Acedia is now going to be a big
two-man shockwave.
Two-man shockwave though gets stacked by Bam, but Berserk is still making its way in. Navi flashes out. Bam is very low, can't fight back, and there is the mob proc. He does not take any damage from that.
Yeah, completely nullified by the shield. 3 for 2. That decisiveness from Neep. As soon as he saw an opportunity, he went in even when he was at like 10% HP. Goes for it, and it pays off.
This is bad news for TUP. They can't even defend it, and Bam can't even fight back. It's a mid-Lucian where Oriana really gets a nightmare. And also for Navi, low mobility champions getting punished by slows is the result. And now they lose an inhibitor.
Wow, that's going to be huge pressure for the bot lane. And just in time for Infernal Drake to spawn. Let's break that down. Neep immediately flashes over to lock down someone, which is enough for the equalizer to go through. It's like he didn't know who was going to root. He just flashed in straight up, and whoever it was, UPD will go in. And the fact that Sean went for the Void Rush onto Neep means that they no longer have a front line.
Also, we did see that TUP just walked the equalizer, taking so much damage. They should have just backed
setup
away.
though, because Neep went in, rooted anyone, and then that was a signal for the equalizer. And TUP still walked into it, which played into UPD's plans. The fact that Chan Void Rush to try to finish off Neep, however, losing one crucial frontliner for TUP, when the other one is also a high damage frontliner like Acedia, you can't do that. It's not worth it to Void Rush onto Neep. Like, you're so angry that he rooted you. That's a huge mistake.
With two Infernal Drakes, UPD's damage is just getting stronger and stronger for TUP's side. For TUP.
Yeah, they're just closing in here on this top lane turret. They have very good rotations from the Cloud Drake. They have 2 stacks of the Infernal Drake. So this gold value at this point, let's say that the gold value for 2 Infernal Drake is 3,000 gold. Here it
Acedia
comes.
charges in onto Berserk. He's very low, taking a lot of damage. Acedia managed to pick up a kill, and now it will be onto Veer. He gets the Zonias though, but it'll be Navi getting some headshots, and Iconic is just torching that Bam, and now Oriana's taking it out, but Navi will take the upper hand. Meet shield, scrap shield, let's see how it turns out.
That's what I'm talking about.
4-3, 4-2 actually, with Chan just close to death.
4 for 2 in favor of TUP. That's what I'm talking about. If Acedia catches them in a good charge and then Bomb follows it up with a spectacular shockwave, what happens is UPD's composition blows up in their face, Neep might go for a scare here, or might just go for
He can.
the
If he
recall.
starts that kill, Neep will be taken down. But Navi
Navi will not face check that. Saves Neep's life.
instead just goes for the
Would have been an
turret.
ace if he died, which would have opened up actually for a Baron. Because that would mean Neep's death timer does not coincide with the rest of his teammates. So going for the less risky play, let's break that down. As I said, it's not an exact flank, but the way that UPD's position blows up in their faces. Because Acedia is able to freely go to the carries, and Blizzard also gets caught in the shockwave. So that's just complete ace, almost ace for TUP there. And Iconic tries to go a little bit more damage, but because Acedia and Sean are already in the back line, the fact that he's torching the members of TUP, the backline of TUP, doesn't really matter. UPD recovering immediately, but going for this play.
Oh, a steal does not succeed for TUP, but a teleport will be coming into play. There is the shot onto Blizzard, but the equalizer deals so much damage. Berserk takes Bam down, but it'll be a Savior returning the kills onto Blizzard. But Berserk is not being focused at all, with Fear going in the back line, finish up the members of TUP. Misa and cannot escape from this. It would be a 4-1 trade for UPD. TUP should not have made that mistake. Why go in when you see that Chat is in the jungle side? And this will probably cost them the game.
Yeah, 40-second death timers, only Sean to defend. That's not enough wave clear, even with Titanic Hydra and Queen's Wrath. Probably going to be UPD pulling off the first win of this best of 5 series. I think Acedia should not have teleported. I think he should have used charge.
Huge mistake.
I think they should have given up the Baron and then went for a play, the same play they went in the top lane, flanked them with a charge, follow it up with a great shockwave, with Sean being a great damage in the front line. But because they went for the Baron instead of the win, they lose the game off of that.
They lose the first game of the best of 5 series in the grand finals of
It's
the
still a best of 5
LCL.
series, so they can get up from this. As we know, the semifinal series for TUP was 3-2 in their favor. They had to fight long and hard for that, and this proves that they have endurance. Well, UPD, they had a shorter series, 4 games, still 4/5 of the games that TUP had, but this is still going to be a test of both of these teams' endurance.
I wonder how it's going to be turning out, but because TUP, that Baron clash was just reckless.
Yeah, I think they tunnel vision onto the Baron buff. Instead of playing around the Baron, they played around the Baron buff. And I think that's a huge mistake there.
They had a Caitlyn.
They were on red side. They were on red side. So they could have had a very easy flank with a charge. Just teleport, not in the Baron pit, but like in a ward near the Baron pit. Let the charge ramp up its shield and damage. And once UPD, because they left themselves open to UPD, but if they had just aggressively charged in, not for the buff, but for UPD's members, I think they could have gotten that.
I think it was Bam not really performing that well.
Let's look at KDAs here. A lot of kills onto Blizzard, really stepping up.
As the richest is the richest.
Yeah, and the damage from the rest of these members, look at the damage here. Neep doing much more than any of the members of TUP.
This is trouble because those heavy bans at the mid lane is really punishing TUP so far.
I think they expected Baam to go for the Orianna because he plays it a lot, and because the rest of the popular mid laners are banned out, let's go for the very safe Orianna. But very safe means nothing to mid Lucian when you pick an Orianna.
So it's all in.
I don't think the mid Lucian will be going through the banning phase anytime soon.
Let's see though.
We'll see, because there's a lot of bans that they need to work around.
So guys, there you have it. That was game 1 of the best of 5 series in the grand finals of the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge. What you know, we have been the Shoutcasters. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is Atlas. Don't go away just yet. We'll be back after a short game, moving on to game 2.
Forcing themselves in a super defensive position, they can't survive even time.
Berserk does not have flash, but he does have the reliance. He is going all in. Berserk is very low, but he still managed to burn the summoners of Bam. But it'll be Chan to finish him off in the mid lane. Chan goes in for the knockout. Lead is very low. He gets taken out by Chan. But here comes Blizzard for the free hit, and Fear for the Cocoon inside the territory. UPD Blizzard will be securing the kill. Navi gets a headshot with the trap, but it will be no kill. 4 turret scores. But here, back to start with this percent, and the shockwave will knock them down. Denying the engage, but Blizzard's free here. He can do what he's previous. Acedia is very low. If he gets dismounted, it will be big trouble. But he gets 90 off guard with the bind triple for a flash in. Oh, wow. Make a risky play of flash in. Does work out. Acedia is now going to be a big
two-man shockwave.
Two-man shockwave though gets stacked by Bam, but Berserk is still making its way in. Navi flashes out. Bam is very low. Can't find the balance. Charges in onto Berserk. He's very low. Taking a lot of damage. The Super managed to pick up a kill, and that will be onto Veer. He gets the Zonias though, but it'll be Navi getting some headshots in. Iconic is just torching that Bam, and now Oriana's taking it out, but Navi will take the upper hand. Big shield, trap shield, a steal does not succeed for TUP, but a teleport will be coming into play. There is a shot onto Blizzard, but the equalizer deals so much damage. Berserk takes Bam down, but it'll be a Sigya returning the kills onto Blizzard. But Berserk is not being focused at all, with Veer going in back line, finishing up the members of TUP. Misa and cannot succeed from this. It would be a 4-1 trade for UPD. TUP should not have
charged.
a huge mistake.
I think they should have given up the Baron and then went for a play, the same play they went in the top lane, flanked them with a charge, follow it up with a great shockwave, with Sean being a great damage in the front line, but because they went for the Baron instead of the win, they lose the game off of that.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.